Welcome to worshiptutorials.com. I have a special treat today. I'm here with Brandon Leafblad, who is the co-founder of Audio Fusion, which is a wireless in-ear monitoring system that is extremely affordable for churches of all sizes and runs on one of these.
That's right. Just use your iPhone, turns your iPhone into not only a wireless pack, but you also have personal control over your own mix.
And it works.
Thanks for having me today.
Yeah. Well, so Brandon has shown me this system before, and the first time he showed it to me, I had to confess that, and maybe you're in the same boat. When I first was introduced to wireless in-ear monitoring, this has been years ago, I just assumed that it would like send it to your phone, and you could use your phone as the receiver, basically.
Right. I mean, all the digital mixers now have an app that you can use to control your mix.
You can mix it.
Right?
Yeah, but you cannot listen to it on your phone.
That's right.
But now you can.
Now you can.
So tell us how the system works. What do you need to use it? And in just a bit, Brandon's going to show us how the whole thing works, how it's set up, demonstrate it completely, how you could use it in your church with a full band.
Sure. The system is really three parts. The main software runs on a Mac, and that will connect to your digital mixer or audio interface. Mm-hmm. Basically, just like a DAW, any way you can get audio into the Mac, then our software called Soundcaster will automatically detect all the channels available from that source. And then you can choose up to 16 of any of those channels, and our software will take all that raw audio, it'll package it up and send it back out over Ethernet to a Wi-Fi router, which will actually feed the audio over Wi-Fi to the app called Performer that each of the musicians use to not only hear it, but also to mix it right on their phone.
So what are the components you need? You need a Mac, and it's Apple iOS at this point.
Today it runs on Mac and iOS devices only. In fact, when we originally started this, we started on Android, but those devices had a lot of latency in them. But that was 6 years ago.
Right.
So we know that the Android devices have gotten a lot better, so we hope that we'll be able to begin beta testing the Android version soon. Yeah. But today it's available on Mac, and so you need some way to get the audio into the Mac. So most digital mixers, of course, have a USB or FireWire or Dante or some way to get audio into the Mac. Mm-hmm. Once it's in the Mac, our software can take it from there and broadcast it over Wi-Fi.
Yeah. So you just need a mixer that can send, so our churches use, our campuses use, for example, Behringer X32 mixers or Midas M32 mixers, which is the Midas version.
Our software, Soundcaster, will recognize whatever you have coming from the card out on the X32.
So almost any digital mixer that's built today will work. Now the audio is in the computer, it's in your software. How does it get to the phone? You're going to need a router. Like a powerful router.
So the way that our software works is it broadcasts over Ethernet to the router. So you do need a hardwired connection from the Mac to a router. Mm-hmm. And we recommend that you use a dedicated Wi-Fi router, really powerful router specifically for this system to get great sound quality. But basically 5 gigahertz band, 802.11 AC, and then it's hardwired from the Mac to the router, and then wireless from the router to the musicians.
Okay, so once it hits the router, it just sends it to the phone receives it, the app gets it, and it's
that's right. And so each performer that is running Performer, or each musician that's running Performer, they connect to your Wi-Fi router. So if you give them the password, it all happens automatically. They'll be able to connect with Soundcaster, they'll be able to hear, and then the way it works is you just pay a one-time fee, $99 per musician. So depending on how many musicians you have on stage at one time, if you have 5 musicians on stage, you would need to own 5 connections, but it can be different musicians each week. It's just how many do you need to hear at the same time,
basically. Okay, so it's $100 per mix.
Correct. Yes.
Right? And the software itself doesn't cost anything, right?
Right, you can download Soundcaster. In fact, you can even try it for free. We have a version that we call Gear Test Mode. And so you can run it full featured. It'll broadcast up to 16 channels to as many as 16 performers.
That's cool.
And you can hear it. You can figure out your routing, make sure that your Wi-Fi router is capable of doing this before you actually spend any money. So.
I want to emphasize the point of the cost of this thing because It's almost like it's crazy how affordable it is, because if you consider a traditional in-ear monitoring wireless setup, you have to buy a set, like a wireless receiver and a pack setup.
Right.
It's like a Sennheiser. What we use at my church, the Sennheiser G3
Sure.
stuff, is what, about $1,000?
$1,000 per musician
per person. So you're talking 1/10
1/10
of the cost
of traditional hardware
of
systems.
a traditional system.
In order to get, and what this delivers is not only stereo,
yes,
but wireless and personal monitor mixing. So you'd have to have
It's all
either an
built in.
Aviom or a live mix or some personal mixer plus your Sennheiser pack.
Yeah.
In order to have the equivalent of what you can use on your iPhone.
So probably what you need to run this, if you have the mixer and you have a computer, which I'm going to guess most churches have that, what really, all you need to really buy to run this thing is a router.
Right, $250, $300, and you have one that's perfectly capable.
Right, so for a band of, say you got 5 people on stage, it's $500 for the licenses.
That's right.
Plus another couple hundred. So
for the
well under $1,000.
Right.
You can equip a band of 5 to 6 or 7 people.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
And that's the goal. We're just trying to make in-ear monitoring affordable for any church, any band. Just make setup and tear down so much easier.
Does the sound quality of the original source, does it degrade over Wi-Fi? Or
so we don't do any compression
exactly
or anything to the audio signal. So basically whatever your mixer or audio interface is delivering to the Mac, we just package it up and send it back out. So, and then the iPhones themselves, of course, are designed to deliver great audio quality.
Right.
So from a sound quality standpoint, it's fantastic.
Okay. So now say a user doesn't have an iPhone. Say like half your band is on an Android device, right? Which is probably the case for a lot of people.
Right.
What all devices can like if a church is going to buy a device for their band members, what can they use?
Now, first of all, it will run on an iPad.
Okay.
So if your band has iPads on stage already for charts or whatever, you can actually run Audio Fusion behind your charts and just plug your ears directly into your iPad. You can even, with our system, because it uses standard networking protocols, you can actually use power over Ethernet and use a single cable from your router to not only charge and deliver the audio.
Oh, nice.
So you could actually
cool.
have hardwired for your backline and just use wireless for your upfront vocalists.
Oh, cool. Okay. But it'll run on older generation iOS devices, right? So
basically any iOS device that is capable of doing 802.11 AC.
Okay.
So, for example, the iPhone is iPhone 6 or newer. The iPad, I think it's the original iPad generation 4 or newer.
Okay.
iPad Air 2, newer, those kinds of things. So it just has to be able to do 802.11 AC.
And so what's like the going rate for a used iPhone 6?
Well, you can actually buy a brand new iPhone 6 for $150 at Target or Best Buy.
$150.
Yeah, for a stereo, wireless, with personal monitor mixing.
So now you've crept up to maybe 20% of the cost
of
a traditional wireless setup. Yeah, so it's still way, way more affordable.
Yeah. So Soundcaster works just like a DAW. So down here in the right-hand corner, I'll select my XR18 as my audio input device, and it'll automatically detect all the channels available from that mixer. You can see that all the labeling is already done from the last time I connected to that mixer and has pushed it out automatically to each of the performers that are connected. For this demo today, I have 8 tracks of audio coming out of Ableton. So as I launch those, you'll see that those will already be coming through on Soundcaster and they'll be coming through on Performer. So now, all I do is just take my ears, plug them right into my phone, and now I've got stereo, wireless, and a touchscreen to control my own personal mix. So I can go into each individual channel, I can control volume and panning on each device. And create my own custom mix. This router that we're using, this is a Linksys AC5000. This is one of the routers that we recommend. In fact, this is the one I use personally. It's the best value that I've found out there and does a great job of working in any Wi-Fi environment, especially very conflicted Wi-Fi environments. And then this is the XR18, but it'll, like I said, Soundcaster will connect with any digital mixer or audio interface through USB, FireWire, Dante, any way that you can get audio into the Mac just like a DAW.
Well, thanks so much for demoing the whole system. First of all, Brandon came up the stairs today up to my spare bedroom studio here, and he had literally had 2 bags. They weren't even big.
Yep.
And it was like he has got an entire wireless in-ear monitoring setup in 2 bags.
That's right.
Like, the future is now, basically, is what.
Well,
That's awesome.
We set it up every single Sunday at our church. We meet in an elementary school, and so setup is a breeze. I mean, it takes just minutes, and we don't have to run all the Cat5 cables, and we don't have to set up all the avioms and all that stuff like we used to do. So
so your portable church, and I can see this being. I was thinking about, as you were showing the demo, I was thinking about really specific scenarios where it would be one where you might have questions, and I thought, I wonder how this would work there, or 2, like where it would be perfect. So obviously a portable church.
Oh, for sure. Any church plant, any portable church. If you're setting up and tearing down every week, I mean it's brutal on the gear, and this is just fantastic.
And you did that. You set this up. I mean, you've done it a few times, but you set this up in like less than 5 minutes.
Right.
So once you get it down, like you practice doing it, and you got your everything's all set up, you're done. Like it's it's ready.
Our
to
student
go.
ministry uses this. They, I've got middle school students and high school students using this. So I mean, they don't think anything of it. They just pull their phone out and they do their mix.
Right. Well, those kids, those youths, they know how to use this stuff better than we do. Okay, so next question I had is like, my church, for example, it's a large church, multi-site, multi-campus. In fact, we have before had like multiple service types happening at the same time in the same building. So what about a church that has a lot of wireless stuff happening already? So I don't even want to know how many wireless packs we have running at one time. Say you've got like thousands of people in the room, all on their phones, all connected to Wi-Fi. What is your experience in those situations, and is there any kind of interference, anything like that with your system?
Yeah, typically, because we're using the Wi-Fi standards, and specifically the 5 gigahertz band on the 802.11 AC, you can usually find a channel or a space in which to set your router so it's not conflicting with anything else. Of course, it will be really important to make sure that your Wi-Fi router is on stage with the band, but it's not even connected to the internet. So you're just creating a little local network just for your stage, just for your musicians. And we have a couple of videos on our YouTube channel where you can that talks about how to use some of the Wi-Fi scanning tools that are available.
Nice.
And you can do set your router up so that it's not conflicting with anything else, and you'll get great sound quality.
Okay, so I'm thinking about Audio Fusion in my own church.
Yeah.
And my church has we're this sounds funny to say, but we're in deep with the traditional wireless monitoring systems.
That's right. And a lot of churches have invested heavily in hardware.
Right. And so at my main campus, for example, at the main campus of my church where I volunteer, everybody is pretty much on a wireless pack.
Okay.
And so you can imagine, and that's like 10 people on stage. Right. That's a lot of money invested.
Yeah.
But at a lot of our campuses, for example, which are much smaller venues, a lot of times what we'll have is 2 people are on wireless packs. And so maybe the worship leader and maybe another vocalist.
Right.
Some of them have 3, some of those campuses. But mostly the back line, so all the musicians, the drummer, and are all on wired in-ears.
Yeah.
Which legitimately, this is probably what a lot of you do, you run a cable. Basically, it's a headphone cable connected from you all the way to the mixer. To the aux out or whatever you're using for that mix. So the question is, can Audio Fusion coexist with traditional wireless setup, like a Sennheiser thing?
Yes, and in fact, that's the beauty of it, is you don't have to throw out all the other stuff that you're already using, because most of those, both the headphones, amps, all the wireless receivers and transmitters, they get their audio directly out of the auxiliary outs, the aux outs, whereas Audio Fusion's taking it from the digital out, USB or Dante, and so they can just coexist with each other. And so you can just put Audio Fusion right on top of whatever you're already running.
Yeah.
And so if you have a few wireless, but you'd like a few more,
Yeah.
you can just add a Wi-Fi router and a couple of connections.
So what you're saying is, immediately after this video is over, I'm going to go to my computer and email all the production people at all the campus and say, I know how you can get the rest of your band on wireless in-ear monitors.
That's right.
And what's funny is the two guys, or the people on the traditional, they're going to be so jealous because they're sitting there with mono in-ear mixes.
That's right.
And once you have experienced a stereo in-ear mix, especially if well, first of all, you get to pan all the instrument. You get like this huge stereo field.
Yes.
But I know for guitar players, electric guitar players, it's huge because you have like stereo effects, but you never get to experience that on a mono mix.
That's right.
Stereo is just awesome. I think there are a lot of churches out there, and maybe a lot of you watching, where that will be the perfect sort of gateway to get into the system.
In fact, a lot of churches, they might have just the drummer on ears and everybody else is on wedges. That's right. So you can get rid of your wedges and put all your people on in-ears.
For very affordable.
A lot of churches, they'll have their backline is wired, but they've just got, like you said, one or two that are on wireless. Yeah. So now you can put everybody wireless.
What if people have questions they'd like to ask? Is there a way they can get in touch with you?
Sure, we've got one of those little Facebook Messenger bots on our website.
I'll have those links below as well.
If you go to audiofusionsystems.com, you can find us, or support at audiofusionsystems.com. We'll be happy to answer any questions you've got.
Brandon, thank you so much for coming today, for showing us this awesome technology that you guys have developed. Definitely check them out. And you said there's a free trial, or there is free...
Yeah, if you go to the Mac App Store, you can download Soundcaster for free. You can run it in what we call gear test mode. You can broadcast up to 16 channels to as many as 16 devices. And try it for yourself. Make sure your Wi-Fi router is capable. Yeah. And figure out all your routing, all those things.
Oh, that's awesome. Again, we'll have links to all of that stuff below where you can try the software out, learn more, get in touch with Audio Fusion.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. We'll see you next time.